How many years of life? Must one prepare for a chance encounter like this? At first glance, this question sounds poetic, even sentimental, something you'd hear in a romantic novel or a reflective late-night conversation. But beneath its emotional surface lies a surprisingly complex web of statistical, physical, and psychological insights. So let's break it down. As of today, there are approximately 8.2 billion people on Earth. According to sociological estimates, the average person will come into potential proximity with around 80,000 to 100,000 people in a lifetime. These are not people you necessarily talk to or even notice. They are individuals who happen to exist in the same physical space and time as you. That is to say, they were close enough for an encounter to have happened. Think of this like riding a subway or watching a movie in the same theater. You might not know their name or see their face, but the encounter counts. This idea is oddly reminiscent of the many worlds theory in quantum mechanics, where all possibilities unfold in parallel, but we only live one version of reality. In this analogy, the 100,000 potential encounters are all real, yet you only experience the ones that align with the choices you've made and the life path you've taken. Now, out of those 80,000 to 100,000 people, you might only make eye contact or exchange a smile or a few words with around 10,000 of them. Every brief hello, every nod in a cafe, every excuse me in a crowd, these interactions slowly chip away at that number. Narrow it down further, and sociologists say that most people maintain casual contact with just 300 to 500 acquaintances, the kind of people you might have on social media. Of those, only 50 to 150 are part of your emotional circle, those who understand your general life situation, maybe text you on your birthday. Beyond that, only 10 to 20 people would be willing to take your 3 a.m. phone call or sit beside you in a hospital. And at the deepest level, only 3 to 5 people might ever form a true soul-level bond with you. Some people may only find one, others, none. So are these connections random, or are they predestined? If you believe in Newtonian determinism or Laplace's demon, a theoretical intelligence that knows the position and velocity of every particle in the universe, then everything is already written. From the moment you are born, everything from your parents' decisions to which subway you ride on a random Tuesday can be traced to physical laws. In this worldview, there is no such thing as free will. Your meetings, your missed connections, your heartbreaks and your encounters were all coded into the universe from the beginning. But quantum mechanics shattered this absolute determinism. At the microscopic level, particles behave probabilistically. Nothing is certain. A particle's location or momentum isn't fixed until observed. In that sense, real-life events aren't fated. They exist in a cloud of possibilities, triggered by your choices. The path you walk, how fast you walk it, the door you open, even the route you take home, can all shift your trajectory and change who you run into. From a psychological standpoint, this makes even more sense. Imagine you see a stranger on the train. They glance at you and then get off. You never speak. Yet something about that moment sticks with you. You can't explain why. This is a phenomenon known as flashbulb memory. In that brief moment, your brain was emotionally activated, possibly due to their look, the lighting, your mood, and it released dopamine and norepinephrine, encoding the memory deeply into your hippocampus. It feels like fate. But in truth, your brain just assigned deep meaning to a random moment. Can this sense of destined connection be manufactured? Actually, yes. Psychologists refer to something called the mere exposure effect, which states that people are more likely to develop affection for someone they see often. It's why coworkers fall in love, or why neighbors become friends. Frequent presence creates familiarity, and familiarity often breeds fondness. So the people who become destined to you may not be cosmic soulmates. They might just be the ones who show up again and again. It's not about fate, it's about availability, frequency, and timing. But there's a catch. Timing is everything. If you appear often in someone's life but during a time of emotional stress or sadness, your image may attach itself to that emotional state. This is known as emotional attribution bias. Let's say someone is feeling extremely lonely or hurt, and you show up, not as a cause, just by coincidence. Their brain may misattribute the emotional intensity to you, making you seem profoundly important, irreplaceable even. In truth, their brain just needed a vessel to contain their feelings, and you were there. This is why timing and emotion play such a critical role in how we form connections. You don't just need to show up. You need to show up at the right moment. Appear during their peace, and you may be remembered fondly. Appear during their storm, and you may become unforgettable, but not necessarily in a good way. So how do close, even romantic relationships actually form? Is it time, chemistry, destiny? In the 1990s, psychologist Arthur Aaron conducted a famous experiment known as the 36 Questions That Lead to Love. He brought together strangers and had them stare into each other's eyes and take turns answering 36 increasingly personal questions. The result? Participants often reported feeling intensely connected. Some fell in love. Some even got married. The key here isn't magic, it's vulnerability. Intimacy is born not from perfection, but from the courage to be emotionally open. If you want to form a real bond with someone, you have to let them see the parts of you that you usually hide, the fragile, messy, imperfect parts. As one might say, intimacy is not a reward for strength. It is the gift of shared weakness. So if you feel you have no deep relationships, ask yourself this: who has seen you at your most vulnerable? Who stayed when you had no defenses up? If you can name even one or two people, you are luckier than most. Hold on to them. Treasure them. Now, why do we crave a moment of fated encounter? Because fundamentally, we are wired to fear loneliness. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and expanded by Mary Ainsworth, explains this deeply. From infancy, we seek connection with a primary caregiver, usually a parent. That early bond creates a blueprint for how we build relationships as adults. Attachment theory identifies 4 types. The first type, secure. Loved and responded to consistently as children, these people grow up able to trust, express emotions, and engage in healthy relationships. The second type, anxious. Raised in emotional inconsistency, they grow up clingy, fearful of abandonment, always seeking validation. The third type, avoidant. Raised by distant or unresponsive caregivers, they avoid emotional closeness and tend to suppress their feelings. The fourth type, disorganized. Often the result of trauma, these individuals swing between craving closeness and fearing it, often emotionally volatile and distrustful. These attachment styles manifest visibly in social behavior. Anxious types often post emotional updates, longing for someone to read between the lines. Avoidants post beautiful photos but rarely show any intimacy. Disorganized types may oscillate between silence and intensity. Secure types, by contrast, tend to engage with balance, neither too guarded nor too exposed. And here's the twist. We often mistake familiarity for compatibility. The people who make our hearts race are not necessarily good for us. They're often the ones who reflect familiar emotional patterns, especially from childhood. If you consistently fall for the same type, the emotionally unavailable, the chaotic, the intense, it's worth asking, am I repeating a pattern? Am I attracted to healing or to pain? Understanding your attachment pattern is the first step toward breaking that cycle. So, back to the original question. How many years of life must one prepare for a single, meaningful encounter? The answer is, everything you've experienced up to now is that preparation. Every missed train, every unspoken confession, every friend who drifted away, every sleepless night, these moments aren't random. They're shaping you, preparing you, steering you. And perhaps, somewhere out there, someone else is walking their winding path toward the moment they finally meet you. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, don't forget to give it a like and share it with your friends. And make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on our latest videos exploring science, the unknown, and the wonders of the universe.